Right, students. Now in the English medium mathematics lessons, grade 10 lessons, grade 10. In the second term, we are discussing the percentage lesson, students. Now we have come to part 5. So in this part, I will discuss about the important part, that is simple interest. Right, simple interest. So I separate this part into two parts. So in this video I discuss with you simple interest part 1, right? So keep in touch. Right, now let's see, students, about the interest first, right? So what is interest? Then we'll move to the simple interest, right? So I'll give a brief introduction about the interest. So what is interest? So see, what is interest? So actually interest mean if a person take a loan, right, loan, the extra amount that person pay after settling the loan, right, after paying the loan in a certain period, the extra amount, right, so the more amount should pay than loan, that is called interest, right? You see, the extra amount, right, so the extra amount has to pay it when settling a loan, right? So when settling a loan, right, so the extra amount pay, that is called interest, right? So that is interest, right? Next, see, is interest paid for loans only, right? So only for loans, right? So that is no, right? No. Why? When you deposit some amount in a bank, they will also pay interest, right? So for deposited amount also pay interest, right? So many cases interest is calculated, right? So next one is normally how the interest is represented. So you have seen in the most of cases, right, in the bank or financial institute or any other shops, they represent this interest, right, how? As a percentage, right? So it represent as a percentage of the loan, right, or deposited amount. So that is how they represent interest, right? So as a percentage up to 100, right? How many? Right. Now how this percentage is called, right? So if interest is given in percentage, so we call that name, right? We call that percentage is how, students? So that is called interest rate. Interest rate. So that is the name called percentage of the interest, right? Another one is you can understand for what period of time. So actually normally period of time is year, right? Yearly. So we call annually. Sometimes they give monthly, right? Monthly, month by month, or semi-annually, right? Semi-annually means 6 month by 6 month, right? So sometimes it can be given for day, right? Daily interest. So that is how interest is given. Okay, now let's see, students, about the simple interest, right? So we are discussing about simple interest. So earlier I explained you what is interest, right? The extra amount paid for a loan or deposited amount. Now simple interest, right? So interest is calculated on so many cases, right? So we learn simple interest, compound interest, calculating interest on reducing balance, right? So many cases. Now in grade 10 lesson you will learn about simple interest only, right? So the simple interest is calculated. So later you can understand this one. When calculating interest, only consider the loan, right? Only consider the loan amount, right? So always interest is calculated on the loan, right? So that is called a principal, right? So that is not the principal in the school, right? So loan amount is called the principal. So we are considering only the loan, right? Then when calculating interest yearly, right, students, if we calculate interest, simple interest yearly, every year interest is same, right? Every year interest is same. So you can understand when you go to the examples, right? Right, shall we discuss some examples so then you can get an idea about the simple interest, students, right? So I'll discuss here my first example is, students, you can see here, if a person borrowed, right, so loan 4,000 rupees at an annual simple interest rate, right? So this is the interest rate 5%, to settle the loan in 2 years, right? So 2 years, how much interest he should pay in total? So we want to find total interest, right? Total interest only, right? So let's see. Before go to the solution, students, you should understand what is this percentage, right? Interest rate, say, right? So see, annual interest rate of 5%, right? So you have to better idea about the annual interest rate, right? Annual interest rate, right? So this is 5%. So 5% mean, actually, students, right, you can define this way: 5%, 5%, loan amount is 100 rupees, right? Loan amount is 100 rupees. That person should pay interest, right? What is the interest? 5 rupees interest for year, right? So that is annual interest rate 5%, right? So if person take a 100 rupees loan, the extra amount he should pay is 5 rupees. So that is the 5% interest rate mean, right? So we can define in uh, solving problems, students, we can get this 5% is this way also. See, 5% is, you can write reciprocal of this one, we use as 5 over 100. So this is the way we use in problems, in questions, right? So this is the case, right? So now we'll go to solve our question, right? Example 1. So they have given the person borrowed 4,000 rupees, right? So we should calculate interest for 2 years, right? So that means you should calculate interest for first year and second year, then you have to add, right? So let's see what happened, right? So first I'm going to calculate interest for the first year, right? First year, see, 5%, that means, now 5% means 5 over 100. That means if a person take a loan of 100 rupees, the interest he should pay is 5 rupees. Then here person take 4,000 rupees, so that means this should multiply by 4,000 rupees, right? So if you simplify this one, you get interest for the first year. Interest for the first year, how to simplify, student? You can see denominator 100, here numerator 4,000, so you can cut 0, that means you can divide by 10 100 like that. So see, so this 0 cut means I divide this one by 10, then you have to divide this one by 10, then again you can cut this 0 here 100, then again this one. Now only remain, student, here 5 and 40, so those two should multiply, 5 should multiply by 40, then you get 5 into 4 20, that is 0 200. So this is the extra amount should pay for this first year. So this is the simple interest for first year. So they ask loan settle in 2 years. That means you should go to the second year. Interest for the second year, right? So student, keep in mind simple interest. So rate is 5%, 5 over 100. So when calculating simple interest, only consider loan. If you go to second year, you have to calculate on 4,000 only. Here first year 4,000. That's why I say interest is calculated on the loan, on the principal, right? Same way you can simplify this one, student, right? Zero cut, here also zero cut, here zero cut. Then 5 should multiply by 40, same one, 200. Now you can see, student, see here, interest for first year 200 rupees, interest for second year 200 rupees. What is the meaning? Same interest. Why? Interest is calculated on only the loan 4,000. So that means no need to calculate interest for second year, if third year, fourth year. Only if you calculate interest for 1 year or 1 month or 1 day, you can get idea, right? Let's see total interest. So here they ask interest paid in 2 years. That means how to take the total interest. Interest for first year 200 rupees, interest for second year 200 rupees. Those two add, then you get 400 rupees. So this amount you can take this way, right? Interest for 1 year is 200, right? 1 year, right? So this amount 1 year 200, that can multiply by number of years. Why? Every year interest is 200. Every year interest is 200. So interest for 1 year 200 rupees, that should multiply by number of years 2 here by 2, then you get 400 rupees, right? So no need to calculate within this long method, right? So if you calculate interest for 1 year, then multiply by number of years, then you get total interest, right? Okay, now you have an idea about the simple interest, right? So now we are not going to use the long method, right? So see this example to students. So this one say uh, what is a person borrowed 20,000 rupees, right, at an annual interest, simple interest rate of 8%, right? Here 8%. He settled the loan in 5 years. 5 years. So how much interest he should pay in total, right? So now here 5 years. So what I am going to do is I will calculate interest for 1 year, right? Annual interest rate given 1 year. Then I can multiply that one by 5. Then I get the total interest. Understand? Right. Let's see solution. Interest for the first year, right? How rate is 8%. Now you have idea. We use the reciprocal of 8%. That is 8 over 100, right? 8%. 8%. So that should multiply by 20,000. Why? For the 100 rupees loan, you should pay 8 rupees interest. So if you multiply 20,000, you get the interest for first year, right? So same way you can simplify, 0 and 0 cut, another 0 here and 0 cut. Here remain 8 should multiply by 200. 8 should multiply by 200. Then 8 into 2, 16. Put 2 0, 1,600. So this is the amount should pay in each year, right? In each year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, 1600 rupees each, right? So he settled the loan in 5 years. So how to calculate it, students? Total interest, right? So that means interest should pay in 5 years, right? How to do? Interest for 1 year, 1600, that should multiply by number of years 5, number of years 5. So in the side you can multiply, right? 16 by 5, no need to multiply 0, right? So then you get, right? So see, this is the important one, this is the important one, number of years, right? So then you multiply, you get 8000 rupees. So this is the total interest should pay within 5 years, right? So now I'll go into another different example, students, right? Let's see, my third example is find the total amount. See here, find the total amount that a person has to pay to settle the loan in 6 months. 6 months. If he borrowed 12,000 rupees at an monthly simple interest rate of 3%. Be careful, interest rate is given monthly. So that means, what is the idea? If person take 100 rupees loan, the extra amount interest pay for 1 month is 3 rupees. 100 rupees 1 month interest is 3 rupees, right? So we want to find the total amount, right? Let's write the given data, student, right? So interest for a month we should find, right? And then we have to find interest for 6 months. You know now, student, if we calculate the interest for a month, 1 month, easily can calculate the interest for 6 months, right? So then can find the total amount, right? So that is how we going to solve. All right, now see, these are the thing we want to find, right? Let's see, interest for the first month, right? So I'm going to find the interest for first month. So here rate is 3%, that means 3 over 100. 400 rupees loan, 3 interest. So he took borrowed 12,000 rupees, that should multiply by 12,000 rupees. Then you can cut these zeros, 0 here 12 and here 0, right? Then you can multiply 3 by 120, then you get 360 rupees, right? So that you can multiply, right? So this is the interest for a month, right? 1 month. Then students, you can go to find the interest for 6 months. Why? Interest for first month 360. All right, so how to find the interest for 6 months? Interest for 1 month should multiply by number of month 6, right? So then in a side you can multiply, right? 36 by 6, then you get 2160. So this is the total interest should pay within 6 months, right? Now to settle the loan, students, they ask total amount, right? So total amount means after 6 months he should pay the loan, right? Loan, right? Borrowed amount, and also total interest. So addition of loan and total interest is called the total amount, right? Let's see, loan is 12,000 rupees, total interest is 2160. Here we found. Then if you add those two, you can easily get 14,160 rupees. So that is the total amount, right? Okay, students. Now in the coming up next part, I will discuss about the simple interest. More examples in the simple interest. What are the more examples? How to calculate loan amount, and also simple interest rate. So keep in touch with Maths Globe YouTube channel.